What's going on, guys? Greg here. I got another Saber reveal for you today. This is a pretty special one. This is a birthday gift from Tucker to his brother Jamie. Tucker is a really good friend of mine, and he contacted me, 6-7 months ago, saying he wanted to do a really good present for his brother. Gave me his budget, kind of what he was thinking, and we just ran with it from there. So Jameson, happy birthday. Tucker, happy birthday as well. You guys are twins. But happy birthday. I hope you love this. So what we got here is an Obi-Wan Kenobi episode 3 lightsaber hilt. Very similar to the episode 4 and now the TV series hilt, with some minor differences. The buttons are a little bit different. The booster section's a little bit different. Emitter, the cover tech wheel, things like that are just slightly different between the two props. But this is more of like the shiny, pretty version of it. So I thought it was a very good choice by Tucker. I also have a quick breakdown video of this saber, just to show you some things you should and shouldn't do. One of which is being the 2 screw points here that you don't want to unscrew the saber from, as well as like basic button functionality, as like a getting started type of video. But anyways, with this saber, this will be more of the full reveal. So getting into the specs of the saber, you have the Sabers episode 3 hilt. You have a Proffie board V2.2, full-size battery, and then a NeoPixel lightsaber strip. Jamie, for your sake, a NeoPixel strip is, if you ever think of those lights you see in the college dorm rooms, you know, that go all different colors and whatnot, we essentially took those and put them in a blade, and then you can control each individual LED, or pixel in this case. And so it gives you some really advanced effects that you'll see in a minute here. Actually, you'll see in person probably more because it's harder to film on here. But either way, really, really advanced, really cool effects that Tucker and I have kind of customized for this saber. And then aside from that, you also have a bunch of Obi-Wan Kenobi sound fonts, as well as a handful of other ones just to give you a little bit of taste. I think there's like a Luke, there's a Proto Saber, a couple Kylos, things like that. But yeah, there's Obi-Wan episode 1, 3 TV show, 2 from episode 4, and then there's also Remnant, which is my Obi-Wan Kenobi font that has to do with like if his saber was destroyed. There's another video on my channel about that that you can always check out. So anyways, without further ado, we're gonna get into the saber itself. Like I said, in another video, I ran through the quick functionality, so I'm gonna forego most of the button talk, and just so you can refer to that video if you want to. But so we're gonna start with the first font. So saber lights up. There are, let's see if I can, it's hard to show it. You can kind of see there's pixels in here, so there's little lights in there just to give you a little bit of effect without a blade. So. So all sorts of fonts. Episode 3 font.
It's just bad these days.
So all sorts of really awesome fonts that I know you're going to start cycling through. I will show you just quickly of how to put a blade in, which I actually did not go over in the functionality video. So real simple, blade can only go in one direction. So it goes in the end. You can feel like there's springiness there. You want that up against those pins. Those are the pins that are making the connection. So usually I will, grab it and just make sure it's compressed. Allen key, which I've included. So there's actually 3 on this emitter. So you only want to do thumb tight. You don't want to crank these down. It's a very small, it's a very small screw. So just enough where you feel it binding, and then give it like a little extra small turn. And then one more there. So there, and then another extra, like I said, small turn. So it should be pretty good. If it's loose at all, you can obviously tighten them a touch more, but like I said, don't crank them down. You don't want to strip the threads on that because there's really nowhere else to go. So you don't want that. Anyway, so a quick show of the saber with the blade in. So if you notice how it actually like increased one at a time, that's the basic benefit of having a NeoPixel saber. Is like I said, you can control those effects. So you can create a retraction rather than just like a light turning on. So when you do like a lockup, which you can't see here, but in the lockups, where like you're locking with another saber like this, so you can't see it, but actually up here in the blade there would be red, kind of like locking up. That you can again program, like as you move the blade, it'll move up and down the hilt. It's really, really impressive, like I said, what they're able to do with some of these things. But anyway, so that is your basic functionality. Run through a couple more fonts.
Obi-Wan Kenobi?
So those are 2 episode 4s. Remnant, which is my destroyed Obi-Wan font, which, like, just so you have an idea. So you just have some different things there. Oh yeah, What Remains by KSith, which is the the Anakin Obi-Wan fight from the TV show.
Luke
Skywalker.
Lord Vader.
So I'm going to show you a quick video of this, which I think is pretty neat. That I think I also showed you in the reveal video, or the customization video, but this was the ability to use soundtracks on this saber. So if you actually hold the saber vertical and then hold the power button for like 2 seconds and let go, you can get music on here, and you can kind of create scenes. And to turn the sound off, you do the same thing. Up vertical, hold for a couple seconds, turn off. But because of that, you can kind of create these pretty incredible scenes where it's playing through music in different scenes. So every font has a track like that. Not all of them are as in depth. Like I think the episode 1 Obi-Wan is like a Duel of the Fates sound font. So nothing crazy. It doesn't go into like Maul speaking or anything. But you know, so every sound font will have its own preset. So that's the main saber. But here's the thing: is that you've probably seen this at this point, because I just feel like Tucker didn't have you watch the video first. If he did, good for you, Tucker. So we have something special that's about this whole saber. So obviously this is pretty awesome, but you know your brother, he doesn't do anything half-assed. So what we also did was a full crystal chamber, which just takes the saber to a whole nother level. So I'm going to put this here. Your pommel's going to go there. And so, you know, just adding to how awesome this saber already is, we did a full removable crystal chamber, which is 3D printed in high-end metals. We did decide to go with weathering the chassis because we figured, well, a couple things. I recommended it because I think it does look a little bit nicer than the shiny chassis. But additionally, what's really nice about having a weathered chassis, I'm going to shut the lights off for a quick second so it's not blinding you. What's really nice about a weathered chassis is that as it gets older, this is 3D printed from brass, is that it's not going to, it doesn't matter if you get some fingerprints or something on there because it's natural. It's almost like natural weathering. So it's just, to me, it's a better way to go about chassis like this. But quick overview of the chassis. You have magnets right here, and this part lifts up. That is your soundboard. You won't have to do much with that unless you decide to learn the programming. On the back side, this is your on-off switch.
Be careful not to choke on your aspirations, Director.
That with a OLED board or screen right here, so it'll do small little animations. This also flips upward like that for battery removal. It is positive forward, so the flat end of the battery goes here, the nub goes that way, but this does have reverse protection, so that's okay. Then you have, which is the highlight of the whole thing, is your crystal, which is cool because you can actually, it's hard to do with the camera in the way. So you can actually open up and reveal your crystal right there, which is gonna have different effects. So this one is pulsing. It's going down to dim and on, so it's not going fully off. But it'll kind of pulse and it'll have different effects when the saber's on. As well as this upper section here will actually spin around the crystal. And that is magnetic, so it'll hold right there. You have pixel strips here and here, which will do effects as well, on and off. So let's get let's go to Obi-Wan font.
Oh, it's just Ben these days.
do this one. So this is the episode 3, not the episode 3, the TV show font. So a quick swing on. As you see, that is spinning there. It does, the motors naturally make a little bit of a noise that is perfectly normal. That's just, you know, the small hobby motors that do that. Right there. So then you have, again, lights here. So you can use, you know, swing this around as much as you want with the chassis out. Two things you don't want to do. Number one is you don't want to touch these without being in the hilt. You don't, because this is positive and negatives in here. So you don't want to do that and short it out. That'll be a no-no. And don't ever try to put the blade on, like just to try and hold it there to show some sort of functionality. Again, you could damage the saber if you cross the positive and negative. You know, you'll probably see a little bit of smoke. It'll be fine because it usually has some protection, but just don't do that. No need for it. But yeah, so anyway, so when you do that, it'll run through your different fonts.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
So preset 4.
Ben Kenobi? Ren. Obi-Wan!
Luke Skywalker.
Lord Vader. Tornado Saber. Kill them all. Kylo Ren. Meet Obi-Wan Kenobi.
So when you go through all your presets, there is quite a lot to the saber, obviously, but I want to make sure I showed off the crystal side of things. It's like I said, I have a very similar saber like this, and it's absolutely one of my favorites in the collection. So like I said, I think it's awesome that Tucker did this. And I say it was a ton of fun to work on. Tucker, thank you for giving me the opportunity. Jameson, I really hope you love the saber. Let me know once we get into it. We can get you some stands. We can get you different displays, whatever you want to do with it. And I actually do have a saber box that this came with. I know yours came with a pretty cool case because I just had one lying around, so I gave that to Tucker. But I do have just a small box here for your saber as well. So whenever I see you back up here, I can give that to you. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I think that is all. So, like I said, give me a call if you have any questions. I know there's a lot to digest here. Double check those manuals for just the different button combos again, because you don't want to like enter an edit mode or something like that that you're not that you're not supposed to. Oh, last thing, actually, let me quickly show this. Is I believe I'm trying to enter the volume menu, so I might be wrong here, but hold on.
Enter volume menu.
Okay, yeah. So you can change the volume of the saber by holding the power button and then pressing the auxiliary and letting go. So
Exiting volume menu.
So right there. But
Enter volume menu.
what's really cool is that you hear that is it's actually Obi-Wan's
Exiting
voice
volume menu.
going through the different functions of the saber. So just something to keep in mind. Aside from that, I hope you love the saber, and we'll talk to you guys later.